Team Racing got a remake in 2019, players were shocked to hear this. And personally, I love what the devs did with the Zelda series. In Link to the Past, there was a glitch with the net item, letting you deflect Aghanim's magic straight back at him without using the Master Sword. Instead of being all strict about it, Nintendo decided it was awesome and made it one of the series' longest running jokes. In Ocarina of Time, the empty bottles can deflect Ganon's magic. In Twilight Princess, the fishing rod causes Ganondorf to zone out. And even Skyward Sword's bug net forces Demise to stare at it. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Still not as insane as the ridiculous feature in Crusader Kings 3. The developers of this game are clearly big fans of Dwarf Fortress. And back in the day, there was this bug where fish would do 3 times as much damage as an unnamed dwarf. This let them absolutely slaughter humans, and the Crusader Kings devs must have found this hilarious. When it came to releasing the 3rd game, they made an ultra rare event that can happen to your empire. There's a tiny chance that carps can actually eat your family members. What? But there is one glitch that I guarantee you've encountered while gaming without even knowing it. While developing Gradius, one of the programmers found the game way too difficult, and because he had the power to do so, he created a cheat code to give him all the power-ups. Only problem was, when the game released, he totally forgot to remove this. And players would soon discover that up, up, down, down, left, right, BA would hand them the ultimate set of cheats, the Konami code. And those were video game bugs that became features. It's been Sammy. Keep it here on.
That's what's up, Sammy. I appreciate that. I wonder what this type of stuff is in. Yep, there we go.
Hi, we're Shiming and Amber. Here's how we created our Pet Steps app for class.
Hello guys, welcome back to another creepy video here on Most Amazing Top 10. Phones have become such an ordinary part of our day-to-day lives and they work just fine most of the time, but sometimes glitches happen. And I don't mean little glitches, I mean pretty terrifying ones. I found the best stories of this for you, if you can handle them. My name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 scary phone glitch stories. Starting off at number 10, we have the Dead Man. This is a very creepy glitch from 2016. The video shows a man holding a new phone and opening his camera app. Now take a look at the bottom left of the screen. That's the bit that shows the previous image taken, and he says it's showing an image that didn't exist on his phone beforehand, the image of a dead man. When he tries to tap on the picture, he just gets a strange error message. Now he said the phone was totally brand new. He took it to get fixed at a phone shop and they told him to do a total factory reset. He did, but the picture was still there. That strange dead man in the corner of the screen. Alright, next up at number 9 now, we have the daughter. This story comes from Reddit user Bilbapapa, who said that many years ago he got a call from his wife telling him that she was pregnant. Suddenly, his wife's voice cut out and he heard the voice of a girl on the other end calling him daddy. He explained that he wasn't her daddy, but she insisted he was before quickly hanging up the phone. His daughter was born later on, and then years later when she was a little girl, he caught her talking on the phone to someone in their house. She told him that she had been talking to him, even though he was clearly in the room with her and didn't get the call at all. He shrugged it off, but the memory has haunted him ever since. Next up at number 8, we have the ringtone. This story comes from Winter Moon 555, who said that one night she was staying in a hotel after a party. She switched off her phone. It was one of those old flip phones. She put it in her handbag and she turned off the light. Now as soon...
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Hey, them stories was whack, if you ask me. I don't want to hear no story. That's, if you got like a video and then you got the story to go with it, that's cool with me. But other than that, it's whack. But this is DGTA TV. And you're back on Your Way Wednesday. Today we taking a trip. And you know, you find your way on Wednesday, so we're taking a trip. Yesterday we was bugging though. That's what those videos was all about, just showing glitches. Today we taking a trip. I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer. Let's get this motivation started. Motivation for work. We ain't seen this yet. Alright. Let's see what Brian Tracy talks about.
As an owner of Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggle/glasses, but I have no idea how to make.
Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about how you can stay motivated at work. We all have a why behind the work we do, and sometimes it can be very helpful to consider this why. Before we get into today's video topic, I wanted to quickly remind you that I have a special giveaway going on right now for my recent milestone of hitting 1 million subscribers, and for a chance that you show up to work feeling a little unmotivated and uninspired. You may be tired from a bad night or a long day, but if you hope to excel in your career, it's important to find a way to muster your motivation each time you clock in. With that in mind, here are a few proven tips that you can use to help you stay more motivated at work. First, focus on what matters. Feeling lost or spread thin is not the recipe for being motivated and inspired to do your best work. Rather than trying to tackle a dozen projects at once, focus your full effort and attention on one task at a time, starting with the most important task that you need to complete that day and working your way down the list. One of the ways that we teach is that imagine that you are going to be called out of town for a month, and you have to complete just one task. If you were in this situation, what one task would you want to complete before you were called out of town for a month? And this really helps you to focus. And if you focus only on what matters most and tackle one task at a time, then you're sure to find that staying motivated is a lot easier. Second, practice positive affirmations. When I learned about affirmations many years ago from a teacher, and he said, with affirmations, your potential is unlimited. I still remember 40 years ago, with affirmations, your potential is unlimited. Positive affirmations are a powerful tool that can be used to help you accomplish a wide range of life goals, including being more motivated and productive at work. You know, we say that you become what you think about most of the time, but you also become what you say to yourself most of the time.
Yes, sir.
For example, simply repeating a positive affirmation such as, I am ready to tackle the day and do my best work, each morning before you leave your home can go a long way toward boosting your motivation. The very best motivational affirmation are the words, I like myself and I love my work. I like myself and I love my work. I love
myself. You got it. I like myself and I love my work.
Myself and I love my work. Nothing is more motivational than that first thing in the morning. Now, the secret behind positive affirmations is what I just told you. You become what you think about most of the time. In other words, if you tell yourself each morning that you are motivated and inspired, that you love your work, that you like yourself, that you can hardly wait, it won't be long before you actually come to believe it. Next, celebrate wins. When you check a task off of your to-do list, no matter how small that task might be, it is a victory that motivates you one step closer to your goals. It can be easy to have a negative attitude about work, and a negative attitude is like cancer to motivation. Rather than being down about the work that you have yet to complete, take the time to celebrate your accomplishments as you work. This doesn't mean that you have to throw a party each time you complete a task. Instead, take time to stretch and smile and reflect on your good work. It's all that it takes to boost your motivation in a meaningful way. For example, give yourself a cup of coffee when you complete a small task. Give yourself a stand up and stretch and walk around the office when you complete a task. Go for lunch when you complete a task. But if you set a finish line for each of your tasks, you'll be unconsciously motivated to get that job done. Next, set your own goals. Goal setting and motivation go hand in hand. And research has shown that when you have control over your own goals, you're more likely to reach them. Most employees have their goals set for them and are not in a position to create goals for themselves. What you can do, if you find yourself in this position though, is to speak to your manager and request to be a part of the goal-setting process. Tell them that you would like to set goals for yourself as a means of motivation, and they will likely be happy to oblige. Start with small goals and then work up to larger and larger goals. If you're given the green light to set your own goals, you will want to make sure that you're setting goals that will actually push you to do your best work without pushing you beyond the limit of what's possible. If you need help setting beneficial goals, a SMART goals template will help. This template makes it easy to set goals that are challenging yet achievable, allowing you to create goals that will actually help motivate you to do your best work. Finally, consider the why. There are probably plenty of times where you find yourself struggling to complete what may seem like a simple or mundane task. In these times, it's important to consider the why and focus for a moment on the big picture. Chances are that what may seem like a mundane task is really an important part of the big picture. Before you complete this task, nobody can do their work, but after you complete the task, many people can do many jobs. By taking the time to consider how your work is helping to make it all possible, you can refocus yourself and muster the motivation to get the job done. In most cases, there really is no such thing as a task that is senseless and unimportant. We all have a why behind the work we do, and sometimes it can be very helpful to consider this why. Now, what have you learned in this video that you can use to help keep yourself motivated and get more work done faster and easier than ever before? Write that one idea down and then take action on it immediately. If you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you about staying motivated at work, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with your friends. Don't forget to click the button on the screen for a free gift. Thanks again for watching.
Chest, feet, and even down there. That's
All right, y'all. We motivated enough. On your why. All right, let's see. Take a trip through your mind. Let's see what's up. This should be interesting.
Throughout our lives, we spend a lot of time and even more money engineering pleasant experiences. We book airline tickets, visit beaches, admire glaciers, say hello to penguins, watch elephants drinking, and so on. In all this, the emphasis is almost always on the experience itself, which lasts a certain amount of time and then is over. The idea of making a big deal of revisiting an experience in memory sounds a little strange or simply sad. We're not assiduous or devoted cultivators of our past experiences. We shove all the nice things that have happened to us at the back of the cupboard of our minds and don't particularly expect to see them ever again. They happen and then we're done with them. They do sometimes come back to us unbidden. We're maybe on a boring train ride to work and suddenly an image of a beach at dusk comes to life. Or while we're having a bath, we remember climbing a flower-covered mountain with a friend a decade before. But little attention tends to get paid to such moments. We don't engineer regular encounters with them. We may feel we have to dismiss them as daydreaming or thinking about nothing. But what if we were to alter the hierarchy of prestige a little and argue that regular immersion in our memories is a critical part of what can sustain and console us, and not least, is perhaps the cheapest and most flexible form of entertainment? We should learn regularly to travel around our minds and think it almost as prestigious to sit at home and reflect on a trip we once took to an island as to trek to this island encased in our cumbersome bodies. In our neglect of our memories, we are spoilt children who squeeze only a portion of the pleasure from our experiences and then toss them aside to seek new thrills. Part of why we feel the need for so many new experiences may simply be that we're so bad at absorbing the ones we've had. To help us focus more on our memories, we need nothing technical. We certainly don't need a camera. There is a camera in our minds already, and it's always on. It takes everything we've ever seen. Huge chunks of experience are still there in our heads, intact and vivid, just waiting for us to ask ourselves leading questions like, where did we go after we landed? Or what was the first breakfast like? When we can't sleep, when there's no Wi-Fi, we should always think of going on memory journeys. Our experiences have not disappeared just because they're no longer unfolding right in front of our eyes. We can remain in touch with so much of what made them pleasurable simply through the art of evocation. We talk endlessly of virtual reality, yet we don't need gadgets. We have the finest virtual reality machines already in our own heads. We can, right now, shut our eyes and travel into and linger amongst the very best and most consoling and life-enhancing bits of our past.
Yes, sir. Y'all heard him. I don't think we need to even do nothing further with that. Let's look at vibration. Vibration of the mind. Let's see what they say.
The pineal gland has tiny little cilia, hair-like extensions all around.
In our universe, a vast symphony of vibrations plays a pivotal role in creating reality. Everything, from the smallest subatomic particles to colossal galaxies, adheres to the law of vibration. This law declares that everything in existence vibrates, moves, resonates. There's no exception, no idle moment. Even seemingly still objects are vibrating, but at frequencies that our senses fail to detect. Look around you. Every object, every living creature, including ourselves, is vibrating at distinct frequencies. The solidity of a rock or the fluidity of water emerge from different vibrational frequencies of their constituent particles. Everything is essentially energy manifesting in different vibrational states. We, humans, are complex entities of vibrational energy. Our thoughts, emotions, physical state all influence the frequency at which we vibrate. Our brain, an intricate network of electrically charged neurons, serves as a tool for thinking. Remember, we think with our brain. The brain itself doesn't create thoughts. Each thought or emotion we generate sets up a vibration, influencing our overall vibrational state. Understanding the law of vibration isn't a mere intellectual pursuit. It has profound real-world implications, especially concerning health, relationships, and personal development. The vibrational frequency you operate at has a direct impact on what you attract into your life. Negative vibrations like fear, worry, or doubt can lead to a self-perpetuating cycle of negativity. Conversely, positive vibrations attract positivity, prosperity, and happiness. Let's consider personal development. Your vibrational state significantly influences your capacity for growth and self-realization. The higher and more positive your vibration, the greater your potential for development. It's like tuning a radio. You have to adjust your frequency to catch the broadcast you desire. Our emotions are also manifestations of our vibrational state. If you feel uneasy, you're likely vibrating at a lower frequency. If you feel joyful, your vibration is likely high. By recognizing this, you can consciously alter your vibrational state, turning a negative state into a positive one. Suppose you encounter someone who's in a negative state. Try to shift the conversation to something positive, something that may make them smile or feel proud. Give a sincere compliment. You'll witness their vibration shift towards positivity. And the beauty of this? You can apply the same technique to alter your own vibrational state when feeling low. Drawing from the wisdom of Viktor Frankl, there exists a space between any given situation and your response to it. In that infinitesimal space, you hold the power to determine your reaction. You can choose the vibration you want to resonate with. Our surroundings vibrate too, and we react to these external vibrations. A bustling cafe, a tranquil forest, each has a distinct vibration. If you find yourself in a place where the vibrations make you uncomfortable, it's advisable to leave. Seek out places that match your vibration and make you feel good. Practicing the law of vibration isn't just about understanding it. It's about consciously aligning your vibrations with your desires, especially in terms of personal development. Visualize your goals, focus your energy on them, and resonate with their achievement. You're essentially setting up a vibrational match that can attract those goals into your reality. Understanding and harmonizing with the law of vibration empowers you to actively participate in crafting your reality. As the author of your life, the plot hinges on the vibrations you choose to resonate with. By mastering your vibrational state, you're essentially directing the story towards a fulfilling and prosperous life. Remember, the universe is an orchestra and you're an instrumental part. So, what melody will you choose to play? At a foundational level, the law of vibration also encompasses the law of attraction. You see, you don't just attract what you want, but what you are. You draw towards you experiences and opportunities that resonate with your vibrational frequency. This understanding brings a profound sense of empowerment. It liberates you from feeling a mere victim of external circumstances, revealing that you can influence your reality by adjusting your vibrational state. Consider the elements of nature: a serene lake, the tall, rustling trees, the melodious birdsong, the breathtaking sunset. Have you ever wondered why these sights and sounds bring such a deep sense of peace? It is because nature vibrates at a frequency that is harmonious and balanced. Spending time in such environments can recalibrate our own vibrations, bringing us closer to a state of equilibrium and contentment. And the beauty of this universal law is that it is ever active, ever responsive. Even as you sleep, your vibrational frequency is at work, attracting experiences and situations that mirror your dominant vibrations. With practice and mindfulness, you can leverage this law to attract health, wealth, and happiness. The key is to consciously elevate your vibrations to match the frequency of your desires. Learning to harness the law of vibration is akin to learning a new language, the language of energy and frequencies. With fluency comes the ability to express, to create, and to transform. You begin to see your emotions, your thoughts, your life, and even the universe not as a series of random events, but as a beautiful tapestry woven from innumerable strands of vibrating energy. To gain more control over your life, it's time to dive deep into understanding and applying the law of vibration. It is about embracing that we are more than mere physical beings. We are dynamic entities, continually vibrating and interacting with the energy around us. Through conscious effort, we can tune these vibrations to resonate with positivity, health, and prosperity. In essence, mastery over your vibrational frequency means mastery over your life. As you attune yourself to higher and more positive frequencies, you'll notice your life transforming. This transformation isn't merely about personal gain, but also about contributing to a more harmonious, prosperous world. So, embark on this journey of understanding the law of vibration. Learn, grow, and vibrate higher.
Yes, sir.
Remember, each vibration, each thought, each action sends ripples into the universe. Make yours count. Let them resonate with love, joy, and abundance, because you are not just a drop in the ocean.
Yes, sir.
You are the entire ocean in a drop.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. Y'all heard him. All right, so look, I'm going to put this on the list real quick. So check this out. Hey, I had it. Not vibration, but oh, life's detours. So you just got to know what to type in. Let's go.
Just about the time you've got life figured out.
Yes, sir.
Everything seems to be in order, it's going your way,
That's what means.
and suddenly a detour. You've been there when you've been driving. You're driving along and all of a sudden there's a sign that says, detour ahead, take a different way, follow the signs.
Yes, sir.
Life can be like that. Have you ever wondered why it seems to work out that way? Ran across an interesting passage that's in the book of Exodus. I think that begins to give us some guidance when it comes to detours that we face in our life.
Exodus.
Have we ever thought about God's hands in those situations where it seems like, well, this isn't where I wanted to go, this isn't what I wanted to do, this isn't what I expected for life, or what my decision was supposed to end up to bring. Well, in Exodus chapter 13, verse 17, we find the Israelites have just left Egypt. We know that story. But there's an interesting aspect in this particular verse that gives us some insight into God's perspective when it comes to those challenges in life. Here's what it says. It came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go that God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. Or in other words, that way was the fastest way to the promised land. But God didn't take them that way. In a sense, it was a detour from the main highway. A verse later, it said, God led the people around by the way of the Red Sea, of the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea. He led them around. Other translations say roundabout, a winding way. The unexpected way would be really what God did. Well, why did he do that? Why would God allow those types of things in our life, and in this situation seems to purposely take them on a detour from what the main road would have led them? Well, I think this is what we find when we look at this particular story. God is going to use this roundabout way, this detour, to protect the people. If you look at what it says in the end of verse 17, it says, God says, perhaps the people would change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. So there was a problem that was ahead if they would have taken the main road. So God took them the roundabout way, a different way to help them, to protect them, because God was watching out for them. Even though I'm sure people were saying, well, wait a second, shouldn't we be going on this main road? Shouldn't we be going that way? But God took them a totally different way on this detour in their life to protect them.
Yes, sir.
We see another example of this in 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel, we have the story of David. And in chapter 22, verse 30, David says something interesting as he recognizes God's hand in taking him on a different path than he expected. And here's what David wrote about God. So imagine God speaking. It says, for by you I can run against a troop. David knew with God's help he could do anything. By my God, I can leap over a wall. Right. As for God, his way is perfect. Yes, the word of the Lord is proven. He is a shield to all who trust him. Oftentimes in the Israelites' life and in David's life, they ended up on an unexpected path, a detour in their life. And yet what did David learn? With God's help, the detour didn't matter. The detour was the better way to go. By taking this detour and following God's direction, they were protected. So next time in life, when you're on a path that's unexpected, be sure and turn to God and his direction, because it may just be he's protecting you.
Yes, sir.
That's BT Daily.
That's my guy, Billy. Oh. Yes, sir. Let's get life's journey. I didn't expect that, huh? Let's see what they talking about. Alan Watts.
So team, this is how you get stuff done. Step 1, download ClickUp. Step 2, you don't need a step.
That existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at, but that it is best understood by analogy with music.
Yes, sir.
Because music, as an art form, is essentially playful. We say you play the piano.
Yes, sir.
You don't work the piano.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay.
Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. One doesn't make the end of a composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest.
Right. Yeah.
And there would be composers who wrote only finales. People go to a concert just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end. Same way in dancing. You don't aim at a particular spot in the room. That's where you should arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, but we don't see that as something brought by our education into our everyday conduct. We've got a system of schooling which gives a completely different impression. It's all graded. And what we do is we put the child into the corridor of this grade system with a kind of, come on, kitty, kitty, kitty. And yeah, you go to kindergarten, you know, and that's a great thing because when you finish that, you'll get into first grade. And then come on, first grade leads to second grade and so on, and then you get out of grade school, and you've got high school, and it's revving up, the thing is coming. Then you're going to go to college, and by Jove, then you get into graduate school, and when you're through with graduate school, you go out to join the world. And then you get into some racket where you're selling insurance. And they've got that quota to make. And you're going to make that. And all the time, the thing is coming. It's coming. It's coming. That great thing, the success you're working for. Then when you wake up one day about 40 years old, you say, my God, I've arrived. I'm there. And you don't feel very different from what you always felt. By expectation. Look at the people who live to retire and put those savings away. And then when they're 65, they don't have any energy left, they're more or less impotent, and they go and rot in an old people's, senior citizens community. Because we've simply cheated ourselves the whole way down the line. We thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end, and the thing was to get to that end. Success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead. But we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or to dance while the music was being played.
Oh, that was beautiful. Let me go ahead and save that. And I will be making this playlist available. I'll share it like on my clips from it from on my Instagram and my Facebook and links from it. Y'all can go browse it yourself to get some of these videos back for yourself because they are really nice. So let me speak for like 2 seconds. I type these things in and I don't know what we're going to see, what to expect. But I feel like when you go on YouTube, that is the purpose. Sometimes if you're on YouTube, you're there for the specific, it's like grocery shopping. You're there for the specific thing. But then you pick up so much other stuff along the way. Well, what if you go there to just pick up stuff along the way and maybe you come out, you have something vaguely specific that you want to look for and you just come out with so many more gems, you know? So, all right, life's journey. Let's see. Let's look at tuning life. Watch, they say
as a Christian, what comes to mind when you hear the word
say the same thing that the other guy said.
prosperity? Now, a lot of people are going to think back to the 80s and 90s where people were
You are not just a physical being living in a physical world. You are made up of energy and exist in a universe where everything is vibrating energy. You have the ability to send and receive energy. One of the biggest challenges for you is understanding how to live as an energy being in a world where everything is made up of energy. Every word you speak and every action you take, from the simplest tasks like breathing, walking and eating, to the complexities of your emotions and thoughts, requires energy. These emotions and thoughts whether positive or negative, carry their own energetic vibrations that can shape your experiences and have an impact on the world around you. And through the mastery of your vibrations, you can unlock a world of endless potential. Think of yourself as a transmitter of energy. All the time, you are sending out signals that tell the universe about yourself. These signals can either attract or repel other energetic beings, events, and experiences. If your energetic self radiates anger and frustration, your physical reality will reflect that as well. Naturally, you draw toward things that align with how you feel and who you are. If you emit an energy of wealth and abundance, your life will reflect that by bringing more wealth and abundance into your physical reality. Similarly, if you radiate negative or discordant energy, you are likely to repel experiences that don't match your state of being. Once you understand that your vibrational self attracts similar things, it becomes evident that if you desire a different experience in your life, you need to change the signals you are emitting. In other words, if you want to attract different circumstances or outcomes, you must adjust your thoughts, emotions, and overall energy to align with what you wish to experience. By consciously changing the signals you send out, you can create a shift in the patterns and experiences that come into your life. You are so much more powerful than you ever imagined. By understanding how to transmit the vibrations of your desired life, you can fundamentally change the way you experience the world and become aligned with your ideal life. Indeed, your thoughts are not just random mental processes. They carry energy and vibrations. Each thought you generate sets off a specific frequency of vibration in the neurons of your brain. This energetic activity creates a powerful force that aligns with and draws corresponding experiences towards you. In essence, the energy and vibrations emitted by your thoughts act as magnets, attracting and manifesting the essence of what you focus on. By understanding this principle, you can consciously direct your thoughts towards the outcomes you desire, harnessing the power of your thoughts to shape your reality. Your thoughts are the building blocks of your reality. There is a saying, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Your thoughts are the seeds that manifest your future. It's important to be mindful of how you allocate your energy because it follows your attention. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide where to direct your energy. You have the freedom to choose, and even the act of making a decision requires energy. Albert Einstein once said, "Everything is energy." In fact, even watching this video requires energy. The energy we focus on ultimately shapes our reality. You possess the power to guide and manage this energy, determining where to concentrate it and how to utilize it. By doing so, you can effectively channel your energy towards your goals and aspirations. It's important to recognize that you have the power to control your energy. When you're feeling down, you can redirect your attention to something that lifts your spirits. You can also influence your energy by spending time with positive people, engaging in activities that bring you joy, and surrounding yourself with uplifting messages. Taking steps to protect your energy is also crucial, such as setting boundaries, avoiding negative situations and relationships, and practicing self-care. The universe aligns in your favor, bringing you everything that resonates with your energy. Trusting and having faith in the power of energy can create remarkable transformations in your life. By placing trust in energy, you recognize your own deservingness to receive and the capacity to generously give to others. Start perceiving that there is more to life than what is apparent, and that a greater force is at play. Become connected to something vast, something that possesses boundless knowledge, understanding, and love. Trusting in energy brings about remarkable changes in your well-being. Your energy aligns, your cells rejuvenate, and your overall health improves. Feelings of despair, confusion, and disappointment fade away, replaced by a sense of serenity, balance, and lightness. Your energy becomes clear, pure, and flows smoothly like a mountain stream. You embrace your worthiness and deservingness, and joy becomes a constant presence in your life. Wisdom and inner peace enrich your being, and clarity pervades your thoughts. This is the profound impact of energy, and when you place your trust in it, everything effortlessly falls into place. When you trust in the universe and have faith in your own abilities, your energy becomes both powerful and serene. Wisdom and tranquility emerge from within. Your thoughts transform into beliefs, and your dreams start to materialize in your reality. By believing in your aspirations and taking concrete steps towards them, you have the ability to create significant transformations in your life and accomplish everything you yearn for. Have faith in yourself and in the universe's guidance to lead you towards your purpose, and you will uncover your true mission in this world. Close your eyes and connect with your inner self, feeling the energy coursing through you. Feel the love, the strength, and the brightness. You are energy with the ability to create your reality and realize your aspirations. You are capable, worthy, and adored. Believe in yourself and the universe, and watch the magic develop in your life. To transform your thoughts into beliefs, it is crucial to actively practice the act of believing. By placing faith in the universe's ability to provide for your needs, acknowledging your potential desires and dreams, and embracing your deservingness of love and happiness, you can cultivate deep peace and joy. Remember, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop.
Yes, sir. We heard it.
Let your vibrations echo throughout eternity, and may your journey be one of endless discovery, growth, and transformation. The universe eagerly awaits your harmonious vibrations, ready to co-create a reality beyond your wildest dreams. By consciously choosing and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs with the desired vibration, you can attract and manifest corresponding experiences into your life. If you're still here, I would greatly appreciate your support
by sharing and commenting. All right, y'all. Let's get another one. Tuning light. Oh, that's good. That's good to see. Let's get a shorter one.
Thinking about starting to run on the treadmill again. I need to drop my belly fat.
Yeah, no, that's total BS.
Now that's fine tuning the universe.
Such great stuff, Bill. Such great stuff, Bill. And I want to get to the second reason for the existence of God. As you say, the complex order in the universe points to an intelligent designer. Explain.
Scientists once thought that whatever the initial conditions of the universe might have been, given enough time and a little luck, eventually intelligent life forms like ourselves would evolve. But instead, during the last 50 years or so, scientists have discovered, to their surprise, that the existence of intelligent life in this universe depends upon a complex and delicate balance of initial conditions given in the Big Bang itself. In fact, it appears that the universe has been incredibly fine-tuned for the existence of intelligent life from the very moment of its inception. And this fine-tuning is beyond comprehension in its delicacy. To give you an idea of the delicacy of the fine-tuning, let me just give a couple of numbers to give you a feel for the odds. The number of seconds in the entire history of the universe, all the way back to the Big Bang, is about 10 to the 18th power. 10 to the 18th power seconds in the entire history of the universe. 10 followed by 18 zeros, a huge number. The number of subatomic particles in the entire known universe is said to be around 10 to the 80th power. Now, with those numbers in mind, consider the following. In order for the universe to be life-permitting, the force of gravity and the weak force in the atom have to be fine-tuned to the precision of 1 part out of 10 to the 100th power. The cosmological constant that governs the accelerating expansion of the universe is fine-tuned to 1 part out of 10 to the 120th power. Here's a real eye-popper. Roger Penrose of Oxford University has estimated that the odds of the initial low entropy state of the early universe obtaining by chance alone is 1 chance out of 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 123.
That life would just be started just because.
A number which is so incomprehensible that to call it astronomical would be a wild understatement. And the examples of fine-tuning are so diverse and so numerous that they are unlikely to disappear with any future advance of physics. The fine-tuning is here to stay and requires some sort of explanation of its existence. And in the literature on this subject, there are basically 3...
If you ain't getting what he's saying, basically, life that we walking around in, like your floor, your ceiling, the sky, everywhere, everything, your car, the phone, is tuned in a way that it can be, that you can drive in it, walk on it, hold it, and everything such as that. If it was tuned any other way, it wouldn't exist.
Possible explanations that are put forward. One would be physical necessity, that it's due to the laws of nature. They have to have the values they do. Second would be it's just pure chance alone. The third one would be it's the product of intelligent design. Someone has designed the universe to be life-permitting. The problem is that those first 2 alternative explanations, physical necessity and chance, are just not very plausible. There's nothing about the laws of nature that require these constants and quantities to have the values they do. And the chances are so remote that they cannot be reasonably faced. So that I think the most rational explanation is intelligent design. And a number of scientists have said this as well. For example,
also what he just said there is that where we live at right now is not the only way that life lives. Life lives in volcanoes, life lives underground, and we know this to be a fact, but we also live here. So for it to be all of us here and all of us able to exist with these parameters were set specifically for us to be here, for the ant to be here, for the lion to be here.
Well, Paul Davies,
how much
a prominent
nitrogen you breathe in, how much oxygen is in your urine when you urinate, things like that.
Physicist has said, through my scientific work, I have come to believe more and more strongly that the physical universe is put together with an ingenuity so astonishing that I cannot accept it merely as a brute fact. And Robert Jastrow, who was the head of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, has said that this is the most powerful evidence for the existence of God ever to come out of science. So we can summarize this first argument as follows. 1, if the universe began to exist, then the universe has a cause of its beginning. 2, the universe began to exist.
So
3,
that
therefore, the universe has
exactly. Oh my gosh. That just made so much sense to me.
So we can summarize this first argument as follows. 1, if the universe began to exist, then the universe has a cause of its beginning. 2, the universe began to exist.
So
3, therefore, the universe has a cause of its beginning. We can summarize this second argument as follows. 1, the fine-tuning of the universe is due to either physical necessity, chance, or design. 2, it is not due to physical necessity or chance.
Because whose physical necessity or chance?
3, therefore, it is due to design.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
So basically, hold on, let me go to my big scene real quick. So it can't, not Bigsby, big scene. All right, so it can't be that the universe was created out of necessity of life, because life lives in the universe. Life was a product of the universe existing. So it can't be for chance, because whose chance? If life is a product of the universe existing. So the only thing that's left is design. It was designed to exist. It exists, and life is a product of the design and its existence. In case y'all not following. Now we getting somewhere. Don't worry, we still taking a trip.
Okay, you ready? All right.
Oh, well, now I can finish what I was saying. So, us taking this trip, we taking it together. We taking it together. You can look at the many different angles of it, but it's still going to be a square. It'll be even all around. Honestly, you won't even know the shape of it, because we're inside of it and we're living it every single day, and we're living it together. So let's take this trip. Let's take this journey together. My main message for today is unity. Unity. U-N-I-T-Y. Never unity. All right. So, thank y'all for watching another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. We're going to get a little bit more taste of motivation, then we're going to get out of here for the day. Here we go. Top trip destinations. No, trip. Gotta be trip. Okay, I got a better one. Let's have some fun. Psychedelics 2025. I spelled that all wrong. All right, let's go.
We're constantly searching for more ways to help our clients. We're constantly searching for more ways to help our clients heal from debilitating conditions like depression, anxiety, addiction, and PTSD.
Starting in 2025, Colorado will be the second state to offer regulated use of magic mushrooms, and the Healing Advocacy Fund has been tasked with rolling out the guidelines.
It's no secret that our nation and our state are facing a persistent mental health crisis, and it's time to embrace innovative treatments that can help make a difference.
All patients must pass a required safety screening before being approved for the therapy.
Certain mental health conditions like schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder are believed to potentially increase risk for consuming psilocybin, and so those are the types of things that you're going to want to screen for in this required safety screen.
All patients must also complete a 4-step program: assessment, preparation, administration, and integrations.
This is not, happening without this supervised structure in place.
Additional guardrails include a minimum of 3 to 5 hour sessions.
The sessions could go longer depending on the individual person's experience, and they do need to last as long as that person is still feeling the effect.
Other rules include safe transportation plans for patients, restricting them from operating any vehicles, and a preset safety plan to ensure support for the patient during and after the session, and age restrictions and the storage of medication.
10 training programs have been approved by the state of Colorado and are currently offering training to future facilitators and clinical facilitators.
In order to be a facilitator of the drug, the state requires 150 hours of coursework, followed by a required 40 hours of supervised in-person practice, 50 hours of consultation, and basic life support training, along with dosage guidelines.
That's why having psychedelic therapy as a new tool in our toolbox is monumental for mental health care in Colorado.
Oh man. Hey y'all, we Thursday, what today is? Wednesday. Thursday, we gonna be looking into this different type of therapies that we can look that ease our pressures. Yeah, I think this was awesome. If you are gonna be ingesting anything, I say even food, you need to be able to be prepped and taught and educated on what's the best way to do it. You can't be out here just eating anything, doing anything. But anyway, I love this. This was a good place to stop at. Oh man. All right, y'all. We out of here for the day. I could last for, well, let's get one more. All right, 4 minutes.
The default mode network activates when a person is introspective and under normal circumstances becomes less active when a person shifts their attention to the outside world. But brain studies show that under the influence of a psychedelic, the default mode network is quieted, while other regions of the brain increase communication with each other. A mathematical model captures a normal brain's activity. In contrast, a brain under the influence of psilocybin reveals a dramatic increase in global communication. Thousands of new connections form, linking brain regions that don't normally talk to each other.
One analogy I've used for how psychedelics work in the brain is this snow globe. When you pick up a snow globe, you know, the snow's settled at the bottom, it's sort of fixed, and then you pick it up, shake it, and things jiggle around, and there's randomness and a kind of chaos, if you want, in the system.
The user experiences this as an altered and heightened sense of awareness. But what causes this?
Early in our functional brain imaging studies of psychedelics, scientists were finding that the default mode network was turning down or turning off during these experiences. And that was a really good place to start. But we began to then look one layer deeper. Why was the default mode network turning off?
New research led neuroscientist Fred Barrett to investigate a region of the brain called the claustrum.
The claustrum is a really thin sheet of gray matter in the brain, tucked deep within each of the hemispheres of the brain. Recent animal models have shown that it is incredibly highly connected to just about every other region of the brain. Understanding that the receptors targeted by psychedelic drugs are also really densely expressed in the claustrum, we began to wonder whether the claustrum may be at the center of psychedelic effects.
Fred believes the claustrum's central location and shape suggest it regulates communication between the departments.
When it's functioning normally, the claustrum is essentially acting like a switchboard. It's trying to help other brain regions figure out when to turn on and when to turn off. But when we experience a psychedelic drug, we believe that it's binding to specific receptors in the claustrum and somehow disrupting or disorganizing the claustrum. It's almost as if the switchboard walks away. What happens next is that we seem to observe a radical change in the way that brain regions talk to each other. And it may be within this context that we're experiencing learning and a possible even rewiring of the circuits that govern our behavior. And it may be that it's that radical reorganization that allows people to encounter new psychological insights that they hadn't encountered before.
Fred thinks the claustrum's sudden abdication of control may help explain why rigid behavior and thought patterns have a shot at resetting.
Yes, sir.
It's almost like they've seen this like kind of grand menu within their mind that they weren't aware of, that this greater number of possibilities that they can explore.
Yes, sir.
It took a while to recover. I was having headaches and muscle pains, but it was the best headache I'd ever had in my life because it told me that the psilocybin was working. It was actually physically restructuring my brain, something that I never imagined could happen before.
It's like reprogramming the operating system of a computer. You're getting down to very basic code level changes that can enduringly change someone going forward.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all like taking a trip with me real quick. We up out of here for the day. Peace.
Simply because we are putting the cart before the horse. So you cannot do being in the end. Knowing, doing, knowing and being, no. Being first.
Yes, sir.
How to be.
Yes, sir.
If you don't know how to be, wherever we put you, you will suffer.
Yes, sir.
If you know how to be, whether you work here in San Francisco or you have to work in the Mars, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you will know how to do. what will you do? You will function to the best of your intelligence and capability. That's all you can do. In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, it's not an issue. But if we do not do what we can do, we're a disastrous life. That's all we're trying to avoid, that we don't end up not being able to do what we can do. But once you create this unnecessary, completely avoidable stress that your desire is bigger than your competence, without tweaking the competence, instead of focusing everything and tweaking the competence, we are tweaking the desire. Now you're creating a situation where there is stress. Stress means you're moving towards incompetence, not towards competence. Any machine on the planet will function at its best only when there is no sense of friction. The least amount of friction means that machine is the most efficient machine. Why is that not true for human mechanism? If this functions with least amount of friction, this will function at its best. Will I be as good as you? Maybe not. But I will be at my peak, and that's all. And every human being has come with a certain genius. But I would say, because of the type of schooling that we have taken to in our… across the world, not in any one place, and the way we're approaching life, I would say 95% of the people live and die without ever realizing what is their unique genius. Only 2 to 5% of the people realize the genius of what they're capable of. Rest will all do something that somebody else is doing, they want to do that.